Right, I think we should be on. This is my first time streaming. I'm trying to work out how to turn the chat on in my studio. Someone will show me somewhere, someday. Cool. Right. I don't know if this is streaming or not. I'm pretty sure it is. But anyways, we'll continue on with this design that we started the other day. We didn't stream it because YouTube wouldn't let me, but we will be continuing it today. So far, we've got most of the design there. We've got the inner bits, we've got the inner circle, our hole for our grommet. The only thing we really need to do is add these two little holes for your screws, plus our wings for our major part. So, what we're going to do is, because it's been a day since I've been at it, we've got to add our wings onto here. So, how deep is it? It is, I've grabbed my verniers here. It is 22 mil deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a construction plane, because I love using these things. We're going to minus 22 mil, because that's what it is. That gives us a perfect plane to design these tabs off. It gives us this flat face here, gives us that flat face. Now everything we can do, we can just go straight down from that. So what we're going to start by doing is just designing this simple circular loopy thing here. So what we're going to do is we can click that, we're going to create a sketch, but we've got to be on the opposite side of this. So we're going to turn it this way. So now we are looking at it like this. Well, I'm looking at it like this, you guys are looking at it like that. So now we need to design these. So for me, we're going to create, just start with this very simple line. No, we won't, because it's a bit annoying. We're going to start with our 78 by 155. It gives us our rectangle again. We're now going to create a line from this corner. And how far from that corner do we want to go? We want to be 7.3 mil. So that puts us to the edge of that line. However, that we'll find is only 15.5 mil thick, where this outer radius of the circle is 19.5. So what we want to do is create another line, because we said that this was, I think, 15, my memory's not the greatest. Yeah, 15.5 mil. What we want to do is we want to do that, and then we want to find the midpoint. So there's the midpoint. We now want to find from the very edge to the center point of the circle is 16.5 mil. So that gives us the center point of the circle. Now we can do our circle of 19.5. And now we just get our line from here. We connect it up on the beautiful right angle. There we go, beautiful. But now we also need our inner dimension hole, which I just put my calipers in. And the inner hole is 7.3 as well. So we're just going to do another circle. Going to go 7.3, enter. There you go, there's that. Now we're going to do a mirror. So what we're going to do is find that line. Sorry, no, we don't want that object. We want these objects. We want that, that, and that. We now want the mirror line to be, no, I think we're going to have to create one, sorry. So we're just going to find the midpoint of this, just make sure it's a dead right angle. Now we're going to do a mirror, that circle, that line, and that line. Then we want the mirror line to be that, and it gives us that exact same thing on the other side. So now, when this works, we can now extrude that, and that, and those. So this is 10.5 mil thick. So we'll go 10.5. Make sure it's going the right way. That's actually coming up, which is not what we want to do. We want to go minus 10.5. So actually looking at this, that actually comes down to the start of that angle coming in. So we're just going to go 10, and I'm just going to think that there's a bit of dust or corrosion or something on it that's preventing that. But anyways, now that we've got this on the back side, so from here, we also know that this surface has got a bored-in hole. I'm not sure if you can actually see that on the recording, but there's an inner hole of 13.5 mil. So we're going to come here, create a sketch. We now want this one. It's going to give us the center point because it's just so kind. Now want 13.5, gives us that. We now finish sketch. We now take this and we want to extrude it by 9 mil. So now we will extrude by -9. It's going to create a cut, and there we go. You can do exactly the same over here. I know this is the roundabout way of doing it, but so be it. There we go, now we've got them. But now, what we also need to do is create these supports that support these wings. So what we're going to do is come here and we're going to create a sketch off this. So off this plane, we're going to try and find the midway point if it'll actually let us. I doubt it will. No. So we're just going to have to create a rectangle of whatever that one was. So it was 18 via 78. That'll give us that, which now means we can actually work off this. So what we want to do is create a line from here up to here. Well, actually you want it up to here, but we'll just have to go there. And that is effectively what we want. We just want that to be a proper model. So we'll just come down. It doesn't actually matter if it's in a little bit, because we're just going to create a join. So it's going to join that actual part. So it doesn't matter if it's in a little bit. We're going to make that so now this is a part. We are now going to come around here. We're going to extrude it by 3 mil is what it wants, -3. However, we don't want a new body or a cut. We're going to go a new body, sorry. And then we're going to come here. We're going to go move. We now want to move this one over. Sorry. Want to create a copy first. Then we want to move it over via 12 mil, I'm thinking. No, 12.5. Minus 12.5. If that is right, which it looks like it is, we now can, yep, that's good. Now we actually want to mirror that and that We want a mirror plane. Oh, sorry, I need to create a mirror plane first. I am good at doing mirrors when we can't actually mirror. So I'm going to create another construction plane. Then we want to do minus 78 divided by 2, puts it right in the dead center. Now we can do a mirror plane. Target bodies is that and that. Mirror plane is that. It's going to do put them on the exact same side. Beautiful. Now we want to do a combine. So that's the target body. These are the tool bodies, and we don't want to keep these ones. So don't keep them. It just puts them in and makes it a part of it. Absolutely beautiful. And now what we are going to do is I'm just going to be a little bit sneaky, and I'm going to take that surface and that surface, and we're just going to extrude them and cut them off. Same on the other side over here. That surface, extrude them and cut them off. There you go, and I think that is very close to what the customer wanted. However, we've also still got to do some chamfers and some fillets, because the customer wants fillets as well. So, however, what we got to do first, so we can actually hide this construction plane now. We need to create a very, very little lip in here. So this, we're going to create another sketch. Oh, not on that surface. Another sketch on this surface, but we want to create an offset on this one by minus 1.5. To then be able to extrude that down. So we're now going to finish that. Which one? I think it was this. No, not that. Edit feature. Instead of being 2, we need it to be 3. And then this one, we also wanted to edit feature. Instead of it being 2, we wanted it to be 3 as well. So now we have a 3 mil thick. Now we take this down, we extrude that via 5.5 mil. Gives us that cutout, which is what we want. What is this one? Yes, it was a random sketch that we had. Right, so now we want to create those 2 holes there. So what we're going to do is come to this plane, because it is directly on this one, and we want to create a sketch starting in this corner. That circle does run fairly well straight off the corner, so I'm actually going to come here and do a circle, but I'm going to do a tangent circle, so off these, and we want it to be minute. So it's a radius of 3, so a diameter of 3, sorry. And same over here, we're going to do another one, not a mirror. Circle, 10, this one, this one, this one, 3, bang. However, we now want another circle from the center of this one that's enough to develop it. So what is that? That is a radius of 5. So we want a 10. Same over here, we got another one, we want 10, because it's a radius of 5, so it's times that by 2 gives us 10. Finish the sketch. We now want this and this, and we want to extrude them down. To join, and that, sorry. And now that gives us a circle. So that now gives us our screw point, because I'm not actually going to put any thread or anything in that, because the screw will have enough to cut its own thread, and being plastic, the second you put a thread in it, it won't really work the way we want it to. So now I'm going to do a fillet on this angle, that angle, actually not letting me find it. This one and this one, and I want to make it so it's gives a lot of strength without being nothing. So that's probably heat, probably too much actually. But anyways, we'll run with that. We can always change it later. But then we also want to round off all of these edges, all these radiuses. Three mil radius all the way around. Also the same inside too, so you want another fillet. Another 3 mil fillet, and that is actually looking really, really good for what the customer needs. The only thing is I think these fillets are a bit too much, I reckon. Bring them back to a 2.5. That just looks so much better. Will last a lot longer and shouldn't be an issue for us. Now the only thing I do want to do is I'm going to come here, hide that. I'm going to change my occupancy again of this to being less, so I can now do an extrude on that surface, just that single one, and make it a join, but I don't want it to go all the way through. That go right down to the bottom. Yes, it does. So now that way that won't be an issue when 3D printing. So because these are going to be 3D printed parts, now when these are printing on my 3D printer, they aren't going to be, there won't be an overhang, shouldn't be an issue of plastic trying to print in mid-air. It should just come up from the base. Yeah, that's looking beautiful. Nothing's poking through. So now I need to work out how to make this printable. Now, we've got the design. What we've got here, we've actually got as our model so far. So now we need to make this printable. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to come here to bodies. I'm going to save this as a mesh. Okay, we're going to save it as a, what is it? I think it's a HV light backing. We are now going to come here. Yes, I've got something printing at the moment, but that doesn't stop us from doing something else. Yeah, so I've just opened up in Bamboo Studio. Yeah, so I've just opened up in Bamboo Studio. I'm now implementing our light bracket, so mount. Thingy-madoo. So here it is. Now I'm going to do an auto adjustment because it'll put the best way to print this so there will be no failures. However, although actually that's probably very good. Yeah, that is actually probably the best way to do this. Yeah. Now we're going to run with that. So now we're going to come here, we're going to change our supports, supports. We are going to generate supports. The quality, height, yeah, no, all that's alright. How long will this take to print for one, and how much film is it going to use? And while that's loading, my printer just finished anyway, so let's have a look at that. I'm still having an issue. So I've been having an issue for a fair while with the 0. I'm not sure if it'll adjust well enough, but the 940, the center bit for the 0 keeps failing, but we've got the 3 zeros right at the start of the number, which all print fine. So I'm trying to, if anyone knows why that is the case, why that 0 there keeps failing but the rest of it's fine, please let me know, because this needs to be sorted by tonight. So that's what these are. I've got all of them done, but in every single one, like you'll see in every single one, the 0 has failed. Okay, that's actually a better view for you. Yeah, every single one, the 0 has failed, which is a little bit annoying, but anyways, they're the 3 that he wanted. These are only trials, because other than this we're going to have a lot, like he wants 100 of them. So anyways, that's those. So this is finished, so it's going to take 7 hours and 100 and, oh my goodness. Right, anyways, that's probably going to conclude us for our live stream anyways. No one joined, so it was pretty pathetic, but yeah, anyways, bye.